But anyway, today we're going to be talking about niches. And while we, before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and do a meditation. So, we're going to take a minute to focus on our breathing, come into our bodies, into the room. This means focusing your mind on the present moment, on what's going on right now around you. We don't need to be thinking about later or yesterday or to-do lists or anything. We'll just slow life down for a moment. We're going to move the energy from up here down into the lower half of the body. You know, our mind is so active and our shoulders carry so much stress and tension and responsibilities. They have enough energy on their own without us adding to it. So take all the extra energy you can find, and it's something you feel, and just kind of bringing it down. You may feel more grounded, more secure in your seat. You can bring it even further down and tether yourself to the earth. Whatever you like is perfectly fine. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, bringing them back to open up the heart center, and then down. This facilitates proper breathing, regulates the nervous system, helps calm us, and reminds us to always be leading with an open heart. Connecting the brain and the heart so that we're listening here in the heart, but using our mind to navigate discernment. You can even bring your awareness down to connect to the gut as well. All three of those areas have neurons that can be linked, that are linked, as long as you bring awareness to it. You can utilize those to make good decisions and stay in alignment and balance. It just helps you be aware of your life and your body and everything that's going on, and aware of what is beneficial and what isn't, what needs to be reworked, what needs to be let go of. Just tapping into that emotional guidance system, following love and peace and comfort and happiness. But not shying away from discomfort. We must always be aware of the difference between discomfort and pain. resistance. Discomfort's where we grow. Pain is where we get hurt. Resistance means something needs to be reworked. Take a few more deep breaths in the belly. Exhaling all the stress and tension and relaxing into your seat with every exhale. Okay, now, today we're going to be talking about niches. Do you really need one for your online presence? For building that blog or that podcast, the YouTube channel, the online business, whatever you're looking to build, do you really need a niche? Okay, so I know we all hate niches. They are scary, intimidating. They make us feel caged in, like we're boxing ourselves and limiting ourselves. But they don't have to be scary, okay? They don't have to be scary. Do you need one? Yes and no, okay? It depends on your goal. If you're out here just having fun, blogging, podcasting, YouTubing, whatever you're doing, just for the fun of it, and you don't care how far it goes, you're not really trying to make it a business or a permanent thing or whatever, you're just out here like throwing noodles at the wall for the fun of it, and if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't, whatever. Then no, you really don't need a niche. But if you're actually trying to build a community, a presence, a following, a business, if you're wanting to build something real and solid that is more than a hobby, then you absolutely do need a niche. Sorry. I know it sucks, but we don't have to look at it as a caging in, okay? If you don't have a niche, if you don't have a certain area that you specifically talk about, then nobody knows if they want to follow you or not. You know, if you say I'm a lifestyle blogger, okay, lifestyle blogger. That doesn't tell me that I want to follow you. What kind of lifestyle? You know, vegan lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, a Comic-Con cosplay lifestyle. Like, what kind of lifestyle are we talking about here? I'm not going to know if me and you click. I'm not going to know if you are my person or if you're who I need to follow, hang out with. I don't know. I don't know. If you just say lifestyle blogger, that could encompass 1,000 different things. It's not specific at all. And I know it's intimidating, okay, trying to figure something out that you're dedicating forever to talk about, but you don't have to do it all right now, okay? So that's the good thing. You can go slow about it. And it doesn't have to be forever either. So I tell people to pick 1 to 3 topics, preferably that they relate in some way, and commit to talking about just those 3 things for the next 6 months. Okay? If you're really here to build something solid, then you're looking to be doing this 30 years from now, right? If you're not looking to do it 30 years from now, it's not worth your time now. So 6 months in the grand scheme of things is a drop in the bucket, a drop in the drop that goes into the bucket. It's not a big deal. So if we can stick to something for 6 months, that is plenty of time to see, do we like this topic? Do we like talking about this topic? Am I having an easy time coming up with things to talk about around this topic? Is it specific enough that I can niche it down a little bit more? I say niche like chisel it down, precise it a little bit more. Um, you can even choose a generic, broad umbrella type niche for right now if you want to. I have like holistic living, spiritual living, vegan changes, beauty for millennials, enlightened growth, finding ourselves, mindset, sports, like that kind of stuff. So it encompasses a lot of topics, but in a specific area. Who you're talking about is more important than the niche itself. You have to know who you're talking to. And figuring out your ideal client or your ideal audience, your ideal avatar person is a whole different subject. But when you're trying to figure out your niche and you're not really sure what you want to talk about yet, figure out who you want to talk to. Most of us pretty well know who our people are and know it's not everyone. Okay. You do not want to talk to everyone. You cannot help everyone. Everyone is not ready to hear your message. Everyone does not want to hear your message. Okay. And even there, you can be very broad and umbrella-y. Okay. I got a list here. Do you want to talk to hippies? People who do yoga? Do you want to talk to parents? Liberals? Republicans? Jocks? Bookworms? Nerds? Geeks? Nerds and geeks are not the same thing. Gamers? There's tons and tons and tons and tons of categories out there of types of people. It's okay to stereotype, it's okay to archetype right now because it's going to help you figure out who you want to talk to. Okay. Could a jock also be a hippie? Absolutely. If you're just talking to the hippies, jock dude likes hippie stuff. He's going to come over there and be like, what y'all talking about? Kind of like this stuff, then that broadens. Okay. So just because you niche down to a specific type of person does not mean you're limiting yourself. 5 hardcore fans are worth way more than 25 followers who just hit the follow button or liked one post and then never came back, or they're fleeting. Okay. Followers are fleeting. They come, they go, they blow away with the wind. They go where the wind takes them and they don't really think a whole lot about it. And you shouldn't either. Okay. You should never take it personally. Numbers are fleeting. And like I said, 5 hardcore fans are worth way more than somebody who clicked the follow button once. And then that was it. And then they never came back and interacted. They never commented on anything. They never liked anything. They sure as hell never shared any of your content. Okay. Whereas these 5 people over here are like, man, I love everything you put out. They're liking every post. They're sharing most of your stuff. They're interacting. They're commenting. They're talking to the other people in the following. Those are the types of people that you want. And if you're like, I'm talking to everyone, well, here we are back at the lifestyle blog again. That's super broad. who is everyone? I'm not everyone. I definitely don't fit in with that crowd over there. So how do I know I fit in with your crowd over here? You know, you have to give me something to go on so that I know I want to hang around. You're not going to invite everybody to your Mabon festival. You know, Mabon's coming up. It's on the calendar that is sent out on the 1st. I'm pretty excited about it. The equinox. We should probably do something on that. I don't know what. If you have any suggestions or ideas of things, shoot them at me. My brain is at peak capacity these days, so we're just going through the motions. Looking at my notes. The blog post, actually. I already wrote the blog post because I'm ahead of stuff today or this week. So, questions to find your niche. So, trying to figure out your niche. Oftentimes, the niches people choose are the ones that the topics and struggles that they themselves have overcome or deal with on a daily basis, or it's usually a big topic in their life, you know. For example, you know, mine is confidence. And the reason it's confidence and anxiety, you know, confidence and anxiety kind of go hand in hand in a lot of ways. But the reason mine is confidence and anxiety is because I had no confidence for a really long time, and I had so much anxiety that I didn't talk for like the first 20 years of my life or something. And so I've been on this huge journey trying to overhaul all the damage that was done, and with my nervous system, and between trauma and abuse and bullying and all the things, to come to a place where I went from rock bottom self-esteem confidence top to where I am now. You know, I do this. 7 years ago, it wasn't even that long. Well, yeah, 7 or 8 years ago. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I couldn't even like a Facebook post because it may alert someone to my existence, and we cannot have that. Like, I would crawl under a rock and die of embarrassment if someone knew I existed. And look at me now. Look at me now. So somebody else who has been through something would choose that as their niche so that they can, because you know, it's something they know a lot about. It's something that they know the emotional turmoil of, because it's something that they themselves have been working on for a long time. Everybody who has a niche chose that niche because it was something personal to them. And the ones who, if it's not personal, then it's probably not going to take off, because you're not going to have that passion and that fire that drives you to be, because you have to be passionate about this. Okay, this kind of stuff, when you're building an online presence, you have to be passionate about what it is you're doing, because if you're not, then you're not going to find that flow of routine where you're working on it, where you're committing to putting the content out there. You're going to wake up and be like, yeah, I don't feel like working on it today, so I'm not going to work on it today. Or, you know, oh, I haven't done, you know, I was supposed to do a blog post every, you know, twice a week, but I just don't feel like it this week, so I'm just not going to do it. Or I can't think of a topic, so meh. Or, you know, that doesn't work. If you actually want to build something, you have to set some sort of schedule and routine and then stick to it, because sticking to it and being consistent is where people are going to come in and they're going to be like, oh, you do this every Tuesday? Well, this is pretty cool. I could probably figure out how to make it here on Tuesdays, or, you know, catch the replay or whatever. But so it has to be personal, for real. And when I say personal, it doesn't mean that it has to be emotional. You know, you can totally go into marketing or tech, troubleshooting WordPress, or, you know, there's a lot of things that if it's personal, it's, you know, you enjoy it, you like it, it's something you know a lot about, you like doing it, you know, all of that. But it doesn't have to have emotions tied to it for you. You know, a lot of us shy away from the emotional standpoints of life because, you know, emotions can be really painful. But it doesn't have to be emotional for you. But even tech, you know, or troubleshooting WordPress, that's emotional for the person on the other end who needs to learn how to do it because, you know, um, you have a blog post that's supposed to be published today, but your site keeps crashing and you updated a plugin and now everything on your site's wanky looking, and you know, so that's pretty emotional stuff. Trust me, I've been there. But so, you know, just take a second. I'm gonna go check on my kids again. You take a second and ask yourself, what is something that you've struggled with in your life? What is something you've overcome? What is something that you um, deal with on a daily basis? What is something that you're excited to have a conversation with on when it comes up in a conversation with someone? What do people ask you advice on? What have you read a ton of books on? Listened to a ton of podcast episodes on? What have you binged on YouTube for the past 7 years? What do you sit around and think about in your free time? What are you good at? What do you want to be good at? You know, you can teach people things as you learn. Drop your questions if you have questions. Okay, so some examples, because I got a list of examples. Personal development, you can go into mindset, health, eating habits, relationships, etc. Health stuff, chronic illnesses, acute illnesses, disabilities, weight, food allergies and sensitivities, healthy eating, mental health, anxiety, depression, ADHD, abuse, self-love, confidence, perfectionism, tech, hardware, software, how-to, troubleshooting, abuse, mental, physical, emotional neglect, domestic, etc. Social problems, eco-living, gardening, politics, beauty, hair, nails, makeup, fashion, witchy, herbalism, energy, rituals, moonology, astrology, tarot, crystals, channeling. We could go on forever. What do you feel particularly called to and enjoy? They don't have to be limiting, okay? Niches do not have to be limiting. If you really understand your niche, your subject, your topic of interest, and what you talk about and who you talk about it to, then you could really twist it to relate to whatever you like, okay? I mean, even, okay, for example, if you decided on the niche of food, your food blog. You are not stuck just posting recipe after recipe after recipe after recipe after recipe. And honestly, God, that does sound torturous, right? The exact same type of content over and over and over and over and over. I mean, yeah, it's great to have a ton of recipes on your food blog, but are you bored? Because I'm bored. But you can expand and twist that into absolutely 1,000 different things that don't just involve recipes, okay? Nutritional benefits of this food, that spice, how to pair flavors, what to eat after a workout, seasonal eating, what foods should you eat in the winter? What about summer? What do those foods look like? Are we gardening? Are we growing those foods? Or are we buying them at the store? Which ones, how do we know which ones to select? Pregnancy diets. And when I say diets, I don't mean diets like losing weight. I mean diets as in like what you should be eating. Okay, we've twisted the definition of diets in recent times. The diet of an elephant is, what they eat. Anyway, what your dog should and shouldn't be eating, substitutes for picky eaters, such and such as best tips for holiday gatherings. You can go on forever and ever. And it's this is just like the collaborations that we talked about last week. Find a way to twist it into relating, even if it doesn't seem like it relates. I talk to, I do doula work sometimes. And so I find myself working with like pelvic floor therapists and nutritionists and, different types of people. And there's always some way to twist it into fitting with what I do, not only in my doula stuff, but over here as well. Confidence, anxiety, totally fits into pelvic floor therapy because, people are anxious about going to a pelvic floor therapist. They don't have the confidence in their body and their abilities to get better. We go into chakras some, talking about like, the sacral and the root in that area. Life is so broad and everything's connected, right? Everything's connected. We drill this into our heads in spirituality and try to find these connections everywhere. Everything's connected. So if you understand your niche, your topic of interest well enough, then you can find a way to make pretty much anything relate. It just takes a little bit of thinking, and it's really not that hard. I flew through this pretty good, pretty quickly. That's all I got. Let us know. What's your niche? Do you have a niche? Do you know who your person is that you're talking to? It can be absolutely broad, but drop them in the comments and I can help coach you through refining that or telling you, yeah, that sounds perfect, or yeah, that tells me exactly who I'm talking to, or what kind of this or that, and we'll work it out. We'll talk about it because you don't always you need the outside help to like bounce things off of one another. We get in our heads and we don't always provide the best perspective to ourselves from another person's point of view. If we say, okay, going back to the lifestyle blog, if we say, oh, we're a lifestyle blogger, in our heads, that makes perfect sense. We know what we do. So we haven't considered the fact that that might not be very clear to other people. So, find somebody to bounce ideas off of. I'm offering the opportunity here to bounce them off me. If you want to go bounce them off someone else, go for it. But bounce them off somebody, talk it out, somebody, journal it out, see if you can wrap your head around all of that and make sure you're off to a good start, because we don't want to be just, throwing noodles at the wall when we're actually trying to build something. We need some solid bricks over here to build something. Noodles, that's not going to work. So yeah, drop your questions. I'll edit this tomorrow and then the blog post will go live Thursday. Thursday's always my goal, and most of the time I do hit it. Sometimes it happens on Friday though, and that's okay. That's okay, because I have kids and I have businesses and I have people in my life and I have health issues. And, sometimes we need to cut ourselves a little bit of a break. Just because you're set to a schedule doesn't mean that the world is going to fall apart if you don't make your deadlines every single time. We're all human and we all need to cut ourselves some slack. So, anyway, drop your questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, then join the Facebook group so you can interact live every Tuesday at 9:30 CST. Join the email list. I got something cooking for you. I'm so excited about it. Stay tuned, and I'll talk to y'all later.